This message is broadcast through IGON, one-way signal from Paradiso, IGON, or the Intergalactic Operations News Network. I remember when you pandered to ratings and rumors, when your stories echoed the fears of your viewers, rather than challenging them to rise. And yet somehow, through the noise and spectacle, you reached over 1 trillion souls across 1 million worlds. That reach, that influence, could have been squandered. But today, you've chosen the harder road. You've chosen to broadcast the truth, even if it unsettles, even if it costs you comfort. And for that, I thank you. I believe, no, I know that some who hear these words will awaken. And that's all we ever needed. One moment of awakening, repeated across 1 million skies. This message is encoded to prevent interruption or tampering. If you are hearing my voice and seeing my face, IGON has honored my terms. The video must be broadcast in full or erased entirely. And to their credit, they chose truth. This is Father Reese Orin, transmitting from the eternal horizon of Paradiso. I say Father, though I no longer serve in clerical orders. I am a man reborn, not in a second life, but in continuity. The man I was, physicist, priest, father, doubter, has become something far quieter. Now I speak only as a witness and as a man at peace. I speak to all of you who hunger for understanding, not just facts. You see, we were wrong to separate science from the sacred. That was the first rupture. And gravity was always sacred. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. Gravity is not just a force, it is a calling. It shapes the stars. It pulls your first breath into your lungs at birth. It carves valleys, draws oceans, folds time. Gravity sculpts what you call reality, curving space itself, bending the luminous thread of your journey so you never fall, only return. And in Galaxy City, a place that should not float, gravity does not restrain, it reveals. Let me tell you what I know. Galaxy City is a floating civilization nearly 1.2 million light-years from Earth, nestled in a neutral zone of intergalactic space, built atop monolithic slabs of Obscurium-274 infused with basalt and quartzite. It floats not by defying gravity, but by completing it. You've seen cities rise on jets and magnets, but this is geometry made alive. We discovered, perhaps we rediscovered, that if you fold Obscurium-274 into fractal alignment with gravity's natural curvature, and if you carve those alignments with reverent precision, you do not resist gravity, you amplify it. The platforms below Galaxy City form spherical shells. The shell projects a gravity field outward and inward simultaneously, symmetric and centripetal. Gravity presses downward to anchor life on the surface, and upward to support a second city beneath. Yes, Galaxy City has 2 faces, one above and one below. 2 civilizations cradled in a bubble of gravitational symphony, suspended between nothing and everything. And the miracle? It requires no fuel. No engines. It is pure geometry, an equation in stone. We didn't invent it. We remembered it. The Athosans once called it the harmony of the hidden spheres. The reptilians called it the spine of the void. And my own ancestors, the humans of Earth, whispered it long ago in ancient temples. As above, so below. That wasn't poetry. That was blueprints. Now, when I served as a priest, I stood on marble floors, preaching of heaven. When I served as a physicist, I stood on lab floors, preaching of particles. But here on Paradiso, I simply walk, and the ground beneath my feet feels like music. Let me describe it. Paradiso is a planet of impossible beauty. It is larger than Dragos. Yes, Dragos, which you know as one of the great superplanets of the Dragovian sector, spanning 16,000 miles in diameter. Paradiso dwarfs it. And yet, the gravity is gentle, calming, so that rivers can glide uphill, and glass will not shatter when dropped from your hand. It's the result of a unique balance of dark matter concentrations, naturally occurring gravity platforms, and something else. Something we still do not fully comprehend. I walk with my wife Sarah every day. We stroll between cities of crystal light and forests that sing at dusk. The Obscurium 274 here is not mined. It is alive. It breathes with the landscape, flowing in translucent rivers, veined like galaxies within the mountains. Sarah sometimes laughs and says, "Gravity here doesn't pull us down. It pulls us inward." And I know what she means. Now, you must understand something. Paradiso is not in your universe, nor is it in any multiverse your science has mapped. It lies beyond the mirror, a place you do not reach by speed or ship or even choice. You arrive here only by alignment, only through death or through a dark mirror from an ancient multiverse forged by pentillions who refused extinction when their cosmos fell into its death cycle. These mirrors were not portals. They were acts of will. The pentillions brought them to your universe, a final gift to future minds, buried in mountains and moons, guarded by time itself. And yet here I am, not as a conqueror, not as a prophet, just a father, a friend, a soul, still learning. Now, let me say a word about civilizations. Some of you have heard Serafina speak. She illuminated what we now call the 7 rungs of consciousness, what others call the civilizational ladder. Allow me to summarize, not as a physicist, but as one who lives beyond it. Type 0 lives by nature, unaware of its place in the cosmos. Type 1 harnesses planet-wide energy, begins to observe the stars. Type 2 commands the power of stars, still limited by mortality. Type 3 uses the structure of galaxies to build, think, and live. Type 4 bends space-time, masters quantum threads, begins to transcend. Type 5 navigates multiverses, retaining memory and selfhood. Type 6 designs new realities, fractal creators within the infinite. Type 7 ceases to be bound by creation, becomes awareness itself. Here on Paradiso, we are not Type 7. We are simply at rest. And rest, my friends, is a sacred phase of growth. 1 trillion years from today will still be the first day of eternity. I have nothing to sell you, nothing to prove. Just one gift, understanding. If you're watching this, you are already changing. Because the moment you believe gravity could be sacred, you are beginning your ascent. Now, a word to someone very dear to me, Jeremy, my son. You may never hear this, or you may have already heard it and looked away. That's all right. I'm speaking to the stars now, and the stars will remember. Your mother and I miss you, and we love you. You don't have to hurry. You have time. Lifetimes, in fact. Your heritage as a pentillion has gifted you a lifespan beyond imagining. Use it well. Use it freely. I hear you've met someone, and you shared part of that heritage. That took courage. I know. It's not easy to love when time moves differently for you than for others. But love is not bound by time. It is time's purpose. Live it. To the rest of you, to all the sons and daughters scattered across the million-member worlds of the Galaxy Alliance, to the orphans of dying stars, to the rebels, the seekers, the ones who feel like they were born in the wrong universe. You weren't wrong. You were early. I have walked both paths, of reason and revelation, and I can tell you, they are the same road, seen from different altitudes. Physics is not the opposite of faith. It is the echo of it. When you touch gravity, you touch God's handwriting. Galaxy City was not built to impress the universe. It was built to remember it. Paradiso was not designed as a paradise. It is a question asked by existence itself. What would happen if everything good had time to heal? Now, as I close this transmission, I ask only this. The next time you look down at the ground beneath your feet, don't take it for granted. It is not holding you back. It is holding you up. Thank you, Igon, for choosing truth. And thank you, traveler, for listening. From the endless valley of Paradiso, this is Reese Orin, retired for eternity, still in love, still awake, and still watching the stars.